Naram Chayavam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayesho Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtike Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Tamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dibandhu Jagat
Ujapati
Gopikanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachari Nirvisesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Panchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 11. And we are on text 13. We are reading how time is calculated, right from the atomic time to months and years. And we were saying yesterday, Nimesha, which is barely any second, and the gopis are saying, I think 2 seconds or something, it appears like 12 years or more. But the gopis also, they say that just by when they're blinking the eyes, imagine how long does it take for us to blink our eyes. They blink the eyes, they said, oh, Brahma does not know how to create. He has created this blinking function and we cannot see Krishna in that moment. You know, so that's how much attachment they have for Krishna. Okay, so reading on. Graharkshatara chakrastataha Paramanav Adina Jagat Samvatsaravasanena Paryeti Animisho Vibhuhu. Influential stars, planets, luminaries, and atoms all over the universe are rotating in their respective orbits under the direction of the Supreme, represented by eternal Kal. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the sun is the eye of the Supreme and it rotates in its particular orbit of time. Similarly, beginning from the sun down to the atom, all bodies are under the influence of the Kal Chakra, or the orbit of eternal time, and each of them has a scheduled orbital time of 1 samvatsara. 1 samvatsara, by the end of 1 year. So anyway, the sun, it takes 1 year to finish its orbit. That's how we calculate the year. That's what's written, samvatsara. Samvatsara, end of 1 year. So everything is under the control of the Supreme Lord. We are not controlling the sun and the moon. Although we think we are the controllers of the universe, we think we are the center of the universe. But we can see actually nothing's under our control. Everything's under the control of the Supreme Lord, and we are infinitesimal parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, Kal Chakra, the eternal time, is in the form of a wheel, in a shape of a wheel that it's unending. You know how a wheel you can keep turning it, don't know where it begins, don't know where it ends. It's eternal. So like that. And time is the most benevolent will of the Supreme Lord. Everything is happening under the will of the Supreme Lord. Text 14. Samvatsara parivatsara idavatsara evacha anuvatsaro vatsarascha vidu revam prabhasyate. There are 5 different names for the orbits of the sun, moon, stars, and luminaries in the firmament, and they each have their own samvatsara. The subject matter of physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, time and space dealt with in the above verses of Srimad Bhagavatam are certainly very interesting to students of the particular subject, but as far as we are concerned, we cannot explain them very thoroughly in terms of technical knowledge. The subject is summarized by the statement that above all the different branches of knowledge is the supreme control of Kal, the plenary representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So anyway, there is such a detailed knowledge given, and if we want to get more detailed knowledge in it, then the Vedas have those certain sections dealing with astronomy or the atoms. You know, if we want, we can look into that. But as far as Srimad Bhagavatam is concerned, is trying to establish the control of the Supreme Lord over everything and everyone. So nothing exists without him, and therefore everything, however wonderful it may appear to our meager knowledge, is but the work of the magical wand of the Supreme Lord. You know, so for some, we might not understand something, but we should just understand that it's the will of the Lord. Everything is happening under the control of the Supreme Lord. There's nothing separate from the Supreme Lord. Nothing in actuality can exist separate from the Supreme Lord, because everything is his creation. The material world is his creation. The Supreme world is his own internal energy, and we, the living entities, we are his parts and parcels. So everything is connected to the Lord. As far as time is concerned, we beg to subjoin herewith a table of timings in terms of the modern clock. So Srila Prabhupada has, for our convenience, he has given this calculations. 1 Thruti is 1 second divided by 8 divided by 13,500. Wow. 1 second, 8 divided by 13,500. That's the time of 1 Thruti. 1 Veda is 8 divided by 135 second. 1 Lava is 8 divided by 45 second. So these are just such what do you say, even lesser than seconds, and then we just waste seconds just without thinking. 1 Nimesha is 8 by 15 second, 1 Shana 8 by 5 second, 1 Kastha is 8 seconds, 1 Lagu 2 minutes, 1 Danda 30 minutes, 1 Prahar 3 hours, 1 day 12 hours, 1 night 12 hours, 1 Paksha 15 days. 2 Pakshas comprise 1 month, and 12 months comprise 1 calendar year, or 1 full orbit of the sun. A human being is expected to live up to 100 years. That is the way of the controlling measure of eternal time. So the Brahma Samhita 5.52 affirms this control in this way. Yachasur esha savita sakala grahanam raja samasta sura murtir ashesha tejaha yasyagyaya brahmati sambrata kala chakro govindam adi purusham tam aham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered to be the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. The sun is the king of all planetary systems and has unlimited potency in heat and light. So many people, they pray to the sun god, demigod of the sun, who want to have good health, who want to be free of diseases. But this same sun is considered the eye of the Lord, and it stays in its fixed orbit because that's the desire of the Lord. The sun dare not go against the desire of the Lord. We will never see the sun rising in the west and setting in the east. No, the will of the Lord has already made an arrangement for the sun, and the sun follows the law of the Supreme Lord. So, any comments or questions till now? If no, we continue reading. Yasriya Shaktim Urudo Chavasayan Swashaktya Pumso Abramaya Divitavati Bhuta Vedaha Kalakhyaya Gunamayam Kratubir Vitanvams Tasme Balim Harata Patsara Panchakaya. O Vidur, the sun enlivens all living entities with his unlimited heat and light. He diminishes the duration of life of all living entities in order to release them from the illusion of material attachment. And he enlarges the path of elevation to the heavenly kingdom. He thus moves in the firmament with great velocity, and therefore everyone should offer him respects once every 5 years with all ingredients of worship. So here Maitreya Muni is telling Vidura that the sun, it has unlimited heat and light. We can see the sun, it's burning day and night, but it never finishes its heat and light. Although in our night, we can't see the sun, but it's there in the other part of the earth. So it's burning, continuously keeps burning till the time of the dissolution. And then with the setting and rising of the sun, what happens? With each rise and setting of the sun, our life is being diminished. You know, we are supposed to live for a set number of years or set number of days. So with the passing of the sun, the movement of the sun, our days are being numbered. And then it is said, Bhagavatam says that the sun with its rising and setting, for those who are not devotees, their life is just being wasted. And so Bhagavatam says that we should become devotees of the Lord so that our activities can be eternal. Whatever service we do for the Supreme Lord, that can never be taken away by us. But whatever material activities we do are going to be left behind here. The results will be left behind here. Whatever material knowledge we acquire, we again, when we take the next birth, if we are in the form of a human being, again, we have to start learning from ABC, no matter in this life, even if we have become a great postdoc also. You know, so the material knowledge, it has an end to it. And then he said that he enlarges the path of elevation to the heavenly kingdom. So the sun, many people like to go to the sun planet after they leave the body, or they like to go to the higher planets. Depending on the movement of the sun, they decide to leave the body at that time. And thus he moves in the firmament with great velocity. Actually, it's going at great speeds. You know, these planets, they're going at great speeds, but we don't feel it. That is Krishna's inconceivable arrangement. You know, we don't feel that the earth is moving, although the earth is moving on its axis. We don't feel it. And here it said that Everyone should offer him respects once every 5 years with all ingredients of worship. But if we worship the Supreme Lord, we are worshiping all the demigods. We do not need to separately worship any demigod. We just worship the Supreme Lord, and they are happy with that. Viduruvacha Pitra Deva Manushyanam Ayu Param Idam Smritam Paresham Gatim Achaksva Yeshu Kalpal Bahir Vidaha. Vidur said, I now understand the life durations of the residents of the Pita planets and heavenly planets as well as that of the human beings. Now kindly inform me of the durations of life of those greatly learned living entities who are beyond the range of a kalpa. Kalpa is 1 day of Brahma. The partial dissolution of the universe that takes place at the end of Brahma's day does not affect all the planetary systems. So when it's Brahma's night, it's only the lower planets that get destroyed. The higher planets still remain. And so the qualified living entities, those who are qualified, they leave those lower planets and they go and take shelter in the higher planets. It's still within the material world. Yeah. The planets of highly learned living entities like the sages Sanak and Bhrigu are not affected by the dissolutions of the millenniums. All the planets are of different types and each is controlled by a different Kal Chakra or schedule of eternal time. The time of the Earth planet is not applicable to other more elevated planets. Therefore, Vidur herein inquires about the duration of life on other planets. So even on this same planet, we can see how different species of life have different duration of lives. You know, there are some trees which can live for hundreds of years, but we can't live for such a long time. And whereas there are some germs which barely live for our seconds and our calculation, but for them, it is their 100 years. You know, or we know as, for example, of a dog, for example, how their dog years are different from the human years, but that's their whole life cycle. So similarly, as each species of life, even on this earthly planet, has its own time, the time is calculated in a different manner in different planets. Text 17, Bhagwan Veda Kalasya Gatim Bhagavato Nano Vishwam Vichakshate Dhira Yoga Radhena Chakshusha. O spiritually powerful one, you can understand the movements of eternal time, which is the controlling form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because you are a self-realized person, you can see everything by the power of mystic vision. Those who have reached the highest perfectional stage of mystic power and can see everything in the past, present, and future are called Trikala Gyas. Similarly, the devotees of the Lord can see everything clearly that is in the revealed scriptures. So by mystic power, for example, even Narad Muni, he could see what's going to happen in the future. Even Brahmaji, he was describing, when he was praying to the Lord, he was saying, oh, I'm going to see these incarnations that are going to be coming. You know, so the self-realized devotees, they do know what's going to happen, what has already happened, what is happening. The devotees of Lord Sri Krishna can very easily understand the science of Krishna as well as the situation of the material and spiritual creations without difficulties. Devotees do not have to endeavor for any yoga siddhi or perfection in mystic powers. They are competent to understand everything by the grace of the Lord who is sitting in everyone's heart. So the yogis, they understand the past, present, and future by their mystic siddhi, by the discipline that they have performed, they have followed. But what about a devotee? A devotee does not indulge in any particular discipline to acquire any mystic siddhi. A devotee does not have the desire, oh, I'm going to train my mind or purify myself so that I will be able to see the past, present, and future. Devotee is not concerned with that. Or devotee is just concerned that he wants to please the Supreme Lord. He wants the glories of the Supreme Lord to be sung everywhere. He wants everyone to go back home, back to Godhead, everyone to be situated in their original position, because that is the desire of the Supreme Lord. And so by the grace of the Lord, the Lord reveals everything to the pure devotee.
One question I
Yeah.
have. The partial dissolution of the planets, what do they mean? Means it's the Boer planets? Boer planets? Or
When it's Brahma's night, when Brahmaji goes to sleep, then the lower planetary systems, like the whichever are the lower planets.
So like the Boer, right?
Boer planets, yeah, they will be destroyed.
Not like the Earth planet.
Earth will be destroyed, yes. And even the lower Patal, Pitralok,
all those, right?
All will be Atal, Sutal, Talatal, all Mahatal will be destroyed. Up to even Swargalok is destroyed. Then only Janalok, Tapalok, Maharlok. Those where the sages, the great sages, you know, just now we heard that the planet where the four Kumaras stay, or the planet where Bhrigumuni, the seven rishis, they stay. Those planets are only still functioning. Other planets are dissolved. And then again, when Brahmaji's day happens, then he again creates those planets.
So what happens to the living entities? They go
again back into the body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Garbhodaksha Vishnu, yeah.
In the partial, right? In the partial,
yes. In the Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And so this one day of Brahma is called one kalpa. It's a long time, 1,000 years, right? 1,000 times, all the 4 ages.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then the earth will be destroyed at that time. And then Brahmaji's night will come. And then again, when his day comes, then again the lower planets, he creates everything again.
Okay, so in the partial also, all these planets go in the body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu.
Yeah, and only partial, yeah. And only in the, then when there's, and the higher planets, they stay.
They stay.
Yeah. So text 18, Maitreya Vacha, Kritam Treta Dwaparam Cha, Kalis Cheti Chatur Yugam, Divyar Dvadashabhir Varshe, Savadhanam Nirupitam. Maitreya said, O Vidur, the 4 millenniums are called the Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kalyug. The aggregate number of years of all of these combined is equal to 12,000 years of the demigods. So for us, this combination is so many years, right? So imagine Satya Yuga is 1.1726, right? And then Kali Yuga is 432,000, Dwapara Yuga is 864,000, 864, and then 1296 is Treta Yuga. Satya Yuga is 1726. Imagine, for us it's so many millions of years, and for the demigods it's only 12,000 years. The years of the demigods are equal to 360 years of mankind. As will be clarified in the subsequent verses, 12,000 of the demigods' years, including the transitional periods, which are called the Yuga Sandhyas, Yuga Sandhya, comprise the total of the aforementioned 4 millenniums. Thus, the aggregate of the above mentioned 4 millenniums is 4,320,000 years. So our 4,320,000 years is 12,000 years of the demigods. Yeah. Our 4,320,000 years. So 4,320,000 years is just one cycle. One cycle of these 4 millenniums, Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga,
Combined together.
combined together is 4,320,000. So it's like huge, it's like a very, very long time. Even, I mean, imagine our Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. And out of which we are going to live only 100 years, if even we are able to live 100 years, you know? So for us, from our point of view, it's like a phenomenal timeline. Like an ant feels that a human being, oh, wow, a human being lives for such a great amount of time from a point of view of an ant or a germ. So Chatvari Trinidve Chaikam Kritadishu Yathakramam Sankhyatani Sahasrani Dvigunani Shatani Cha. The duration of the Satya millennium equals 4,800 years of the years of the demigods. The duration of the Treta millennium equals 3,600 years of the demigods. The duration of the Dwapara millennium equals 2,400 years, and that of the Kali millennium is 1,200 years of the demigods. As aforementioned, 1 year of the demigods is equal to 360 years of the human beings. So 1 year of a demigod is our 360 years. You know, so we don't even live for 1 year of the demigods. The duration of the Satya Yuga is therefore 4,800 times 360 or 1728. I'm sorry, not 1726, 1728,000 years. So 1,728,000 years. The duration of the Treta Yuga is 3,600 into 360 or 1,296,000 years. The duration of the Dwapara Yuga is 2,400 times 360 or 864,000 years. And the last, the Kali Yuga, is 1,200 times 360 or 432,000 years. So this is the timeline of the different ages. Seems so phenomenal, 432,000 years. Sandhya Sandhyam Shayor Antarya Kala Shata Sankhya Yod Tam Eva Hor Yugam Tajgya Yatra Dharmo Vidhiyate. The transitional periods before and after every millennium, which are a few hundred years, as aforementioned, are known as Yuga Sandhyas, or the conjunctions of 2 millenniums, according to the expert astronomers. In those periods, all kinds of religious activities are performed. So it means that by the, for example, the end of Satyug and the beginning of Treta Yuga. So there will be some time where Satyug is ending and Treta Yuga is gonna begin. So that is called Yuga Sandhya, evening of the Yuga. And it seems that that's the time where all kind of religious activities are performed. So we know that, like, for example, Krishna, he came towards the end of the Dwapara Yuga. Dwapara Yuga was almost ending. That's the time when Krishna was here. And that's how we can see that Maharaj Parikshit, Kali Yuga was just gonna begin, you know, at that time. So that was a Yuga Sandhya. So shall we stop here for today?
Yes.
Comments? Any realizations?
Too much to understand. Anyway, we know that Krishna is the cause of all causes.
Yeah, that's the main
it.
thing. Yeah,
Main
that's
thing,
the main
yeah.
thing. Krishna is all the cause of
Yes,
all
too
causes.
much.
And he's the one who's organized. Oh, Satyuga is supposed to be this long. And
Yeah.
Treta Yuga is supposed to be, it's all according to his will. You know, we just accept it.
Yeah, it's too much to grasp it.
Yeah, we just accept his will. He is the one who's organized it in this way.
Yeah. Mm.
So
I just have one question. In
Yes.
the beginning, you said that the sun is diminishing the age of the people who are living on earth by the rising and the setting, right? So then how about the devotees?
Yeah, but not only on earth, on everywhere. But for a devotee, what happens? Why is not diminishing? Because the activities of the devotee, they are engaging in eternal activities.
Okay.
So hearing and chanting is an eternal activity of the soul.
Okay. So the life is not being diminished, rather
So
it's getting us close to Krishna, is it?
yeah. So in the physical way, you can say, yes, of course, even like, for example, last year we were a certain age and then this year we are a certain age, of course. So in a physical terms, yes, but in the terms of what the results of the activities that they're going to give us, in that sense,
Okay.
it does not diminish the life of the devotee.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
you.
So, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you so much for joining in. Hare Krishna.